we all know safety is required, but how many of us actually do have a fire extinguisher at home? So safety in our business is not something that we can take for granted or even forget for a minute, because the consequences are very grave, and it's a very regulated business we are in. So because of this, the industry is moving very fast towards more scientific, complex studies, and it's a growing industry where there is a lot of cross participation, as we told. So ACRO, which is the Association of CROs, has been working on a proposal to create a national online database, which is to be used by every single CPU in the country since the last 1 to 1.5 years. And now, in the last meeting with the DCGI, he has actually confirmed that within the next 3 to 4 months, we have to keep a deadline, and from that day onwards, nobody will be able to dose a single volunteer without having this system in place. So we are working very hard to get this thing online. We are also inclining towards having a retina scan instead of biometric, because of the abuse of a biometric scan. And the biggest problem that we've seen is right now most of us are using biometric scans, but then I'm using 2 thumbs in my unit, someone else is using 2 index fingers. So the criticality is in using the same set of protocols to actually screen a patient or a volunteer. So that is something that is being put in place, and we are looking at identifying independent IT companies who will host the application and be made available to all the CROs. So as we go towards these more complex studies, as Dr. Charu and Dr. Agarwal mentioned, the complexities are very high. When you go to the hospital environment, it is very difficult to maintain the same quality and the same tightness as we have in our units, and that's a challenge which we all face. But nevertheless, we have to train those people, because these are not therapeutically, we are not checking for the therapeutic efficiency, but the phlebotomy. And if the thing is not done in the right time, up to the few seconds, the whole study can actually, the data is almost wasted. So there are new challenges arising out of these new type of studies. And the final point is that the DCGI's office needs to gear up to understand the scientific, the requirements of these studies, and not treat it as something which is, right now we are having 2 bins. One is the generic bin, and then everything that does not fall into the same simple study of a two period crossover study falls into the other bin, which is a new chemical entity. And if it's a change in the salt or change in the drug delivery system, or if it's a 505(b)(2) which does not exist in the market, in spite of being a simple generic molecule, you are asked to almost go through the whole IND process in India, which is sort of unfair. And that is springing out of, I wouldn't say the word ignorance, but not understanding the risk profile of this. I go back almost 1 to 2 years when ACRO actually made a huge effort to make the DCGI's office and the Department of Pharmaceutical and the Health Ministry understand that clinical trial is not just everything that is done on patients and volunteers, but the risk factor is very different within generic drugs and new drugs. And I think we need to have a big push again to make them understand that these patient studies for generic trials are the same extension of the generic products and not falling into the NCEs. So I think we've got a little bit of a challenge ahead of us to make them understand. And once that is also sort of cleared off, it can really give a huge boost to the new type of trials that we're looking at in generics. So thank you very much for this session, and I think we've got a very interesting session coming up under Dr. Kiran Martak, who's an absolute veteran in this industry and a wonderful speaker. So you're going to enjoy the next session. Thank you.